Hi guys, today we're learning how to play Secret Garden by Spiritbox. This is in drop F sharp tuning. The intro riff starts out by sliding into the 7th fret 4th string with our first finger. Then we take our pinky over to the 11th fret 5th string. Middle finger goes down on the 6th string of the 9th fret. And then we have the open 7th string, okay? Okay. Then we put our first finger down on the 9th fret 7th string and bend the 5th string on the 11th fret. We do that 3 times, and then on the 4th time we just do the 2 notes without the bend on the 11th fret. Okay? Then we go back to this position and we do the same 9th fret and 11th fret bend, just do that once though, and then the second time when we hit it we don't bend but we slide this finger down and then we go into this hammer on section. Okay, so that's the open 7th string, hammering on to the 5th fret, then the open 5th string hammering onto the 7th fret, and the open 7th string hammering onto the 9th fret, and then the open 5th string hammering onto the 11th fret, and then the open 5th string hammering onto the 9th fret. Okay. Then we go back to this beginning riff again, and we do the 3 bends, so 1, 2, 3. On the 4th time we hit the 9th fret 7th string, and then we do 2 quick hits of the open 7th string. And then we do this chord slide. So that's the 5th fret barring the top 2 strings, the 7th and 6th, and then the 7th fret on the 5th string with our 3rd finger. And we had that 4 times. Slide up to this 9th and 11th fret, same position, 4 times in that as well. And then to end it, we do up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, or down, up, down, up, sorry, on the 9th fret 7th string, and then same again on the 7th fret 7th string. And then we go back to this beginning and just repeat the riff over again. So we repeat that whole riff again, and then when we get to this part, we don't do the from the 9th to 7th fret. Instead, we do this. Okay. So all that is the same chord positioning we had here. We bar the whole of the 9th fret and put a pinky down on the 4th string of the 11th fret, and then just do 2 hits of all of the strings. Okay. After that, after the these 2 hits, then we do 2 quick hits of the open 7th string and go back down to this chord shape and do it the same way we did the first time round. Okay, and then after we repeat that. Okay. And then we do 2 quick hits of that open 7th string again, except this time we go down to the 2nd fret on the 4th string and the open top 3 strings. Okay, hit that 4 times. Then we bar the top 3 strings of the 2nd fret. Okay, hit that 4 times. and then use the 7th string on the 2nd fret, palm mute that, hit that 4 times, down, up, and then take your fingers off and do down, up there. Okay, so that bit goes like this. Okay, wee bit sloppy, but you get the idea. And then after that we'll go into the next section. Okay, so the next section sounds like a bass, but it's really the guitar. There's a lot of hammering on and sliding in this section. So we're starting off on the open 5th string, and then we hammer on to the 9th fret. Then the open 4th string, hammer on to the 12th fret, slide down to the 11th. Okay. Then we do the open 7th string, hammer on to the 9th fret. Then we do the open 5th string, hammer on to the 12th. Open 5th, hammer on to the 9th. And then we do the same again, open 4th string, hammer on to the 12th, slide down to the 11th. Then we want to repeat this section. So we want to do that 3 times. Okay. And then we want to go down to the 7th fret, do the open 7th string, hammer onto the 7th fret. Open 5th string, hammer on 11, slide to 12. And then we repeat that, but this time we slide from 12 to 11 instead of 11 to 12. And then we do that again both times. And then the last time we do our slide 11 to 12. And then this time we do 11, 12, 11. Okay? And then we go back to the start. And then we repeat that. So we've done it twice now, all the way through on both parts. And this time we go to the 14th fret. So we've got the open 7th string, hammer on to the 14th fret. Then the open 4 string, hammer on 12, slide down to 11. Then the open 5th string, hammer onto the 12th fret. Open 4th, hammer onto the 14th. Open 4th, hammer onto the 16th. We do that twice, and then on the third time we just slide 14 to 16. We don't do the extra hammer on there. After that, then we go down to the 5th fret. We do the open 7th string, hammer onto the 5th fret. Open 4th string, hammer on 6 to 7, 6 slide to 7. Repeat that, but this time we do 7 to 6, then 6 to 7, 7 to 6 again, 6 to 7, and then 6, 7, 6. Okay, and then that will lead us back into the beginning. And then we do our hammer on the 7th fret, slide 11 to 12, do it again, slide 12 to 11. But this time, after those two, we do this kind of ending riff, which is open 7th fret, open 7th string, hammer onto the 7th fret, use our pinky to take the 12th fret, hammer on to the 6th string, open 5th string, first finger goes on the 7th fret, open 7th string, hammer onto the 7th fret. Okay, and then that'll take us to the end of the riff. Our next section starts off with a bar of the 2nd fret. Our third finger is down on the 4th string of the 3rd fret, and our pinky is down on the 3rd string. Okay. Want to down hit the top 3 strings, top 3 or 4 strings, and then individually pick the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. Okay. We want to do that 4 times, and then slide up to the 5th and 7th frets. Take our pinky off, put a middle finger down on the 6th fret on the 3rd string. Then we want to do the same down hit of the top 3 strings, and then hit the 3rd, 4th, and 5th strings this time. Okay, do that 4 times. Then we jump up to the 9th fret, take the 7th and 5th strings with your first and middle finger, and we want to make sure that 6th string is muted in between. Okay. Want to hit that twice, and on the 2nd time we bend. Okay. And then next we want to hit it 3 times, and on the 3rd hit we bend. Okay. And we want to do those, so the first time it's always bend on the second hit, and every time after that it's bend on the 3rd. Okay, so we want to do, I think we want to do that 3 times, and then do 2 down hits of the strings without bending, and then move our first finger over to the 7th fret on the 7th string. 3rd finger replaces the middle finger, and then we want to hit them and slowly bend that 9th fret 5th string. Then we want to do 2 hits of the 7th string on the 12th fret, and 2 hits on the 14th fret. Okay, and then we go back to the beginning. Same again, and then shift up to the 5th, 6th, and 7th frets. Except this time we only do it 3 times, and then we hit the harmonic on the 4th fret, and I think it's the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings. And we hit that 4 times. Okay. And then that will bring us into the next section. Okay, so our outro section was similar to the last section we just did. We start off with the same position on the 9th fret, 7th and 5th strings, and then strum it the same way, so 2 hits, bend, 3 hits, bend, 3 hits, bend, 3 hits, bend, and then after we do the 4th bend, then we hit the open 7th string just briefly, and then move on to the 7th fret and 9th fret like we did before. This time we bend both the strings. Okay, then we do pinky on the 9th fret 5th string, and we drop the first finger down to the 5th string. This is after 2 hits of the open 7th string, by the way. And then after that we do 2 hits of the open 7th string, bar the top 3 strings on the 2nd fret, and put our 3rd finger down on the 4th fret 4th string. and then we want to do a couple of bends there, and then do a kind of slow bend like we did up here on the earlier section. Okay. And then we want to go back and repeat that. And that'll lead us into the next section. So this next part, we want to start off by barring the top 3 strings of the 9th fret and putting our 3rd finger down on the 4th string 11th fret. Okay. We want to palm mute and hit the top 2 strings of the 9th fret. And then on the second hit, we want to take the palm muting away and hit the top 4 strings. So we want to get that 4th string in here now. We want to do that twice, and then on the 3rd time after we do our palm muted hit, shift that 3rd finger up 1 string to the 5th string 11th fret. Oops. Okay. Then palm mute those top 2 strings again and hit the put your pinky down on the 12th fret 5th string this time. Okay. Then we jump down to the 7th fret, put our 3rd finger down 9th fret 4th string this time. Okay. Do the same again, and then shift that finger up on the 3rd time round. And this time we'll do two palm muted hits of the 7th fret top 2 strings, and then we'll put a pinky down on the 5th string of the 12th fret and slide it into the 11th fret. Okay. Then we jump down to the 5th fret. 3rd finger is down on the 7th fret 4th string this time. And then we do the same again. 1, 2, put a finger up 1 string. And then this time the pinky takes the 9th fret, the 4th time we hit these strings. Okay. Okay. Then we jump down to the 2nd fret, bar the top 3 strings, put the 3rd finger down on the 4th fret 4th string. Hit that 3 times, so no finger moving here. And then we want to end by doing 4 palm muted hits of the top 3 strings 2nd fret. Okay? And then that's it, that's the end of the song. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and check out my cover on my channel if you haven't already, because it might help you learn it. Otherwise, I'll see you for the next lesson, and thanks for watching.